Coming at you today with an update on the reef tank. Had to do a little repair work. Had to get ourselves another Tunze. This is the Tunze NanoStream small little devil, if you know what I mean. And these are the new editions of them. So this is the Tunze, what we call it, Turbelle NanoStream Stream 6095, and this has the Hub Edition Wavemaker, which is the new kind of wireless controller that they've got out. These things sell for about $290 to about $350, and they're really pretty simple to put in, which is great. It's just what we needed. So we had a Tunze before. I think it was a 6105. We put it in, I want to say in like 2011, 2013. Either way, it made it over 10 years, and all of a sudden it stopped. It just was doing some weird pulsing and wouldn't do it. This one is rated for quite a few gallons per hour, which is great. It goes up to 2,500 US gallons per hour, and I think as low as 500. So it's really similar in rating to what we had. And of course, it's a smaller body, which makes this, really, really nice for us. That's ideal, if you know what I mean. So when you can get up to really high flow rates with these things and make it more compact so it fits in the tank better, I don't know what to say. That's just fantastic. And some people say, why didn't you go with Neptunes or some of the others? It's because these controllers are so easy. You put this into manual mode, and then you go down and you decide, how much pulse time you want between 0 and 20 seconds. And then you decide how much you want the pulse to be. I do about a third of the power and pulse. So about every 10 to 15 seconds, this thing goes from almost high down to a third of its power and then back up, and tries to kind of get that kind of pulsation that they would have in the ocean. And I've always liked that because I have one of these on the right side of the tank and one on the left. The one that failed is on the left. Probably the one on the right will eventually fail here. And then I actually have a smaller one in the middle that's behind my rock structure just to get rid of some dead flow space. And that one doesn't pulse. When it's on, which the Apex controller runs, it's just on. So the Apex controller runs that middle one, and it runs during the daytime and not at night. And then the Apex controller actually runs these two side ones because it gives them the power. So during the daytime, it's running alternates back and forth, giving them power. And then each one is pulsing. You can see the old one with the little blue hub with the little red light and blue light, and then where I'm putting the new one right next to it. The controller for the new one is a little fatter and bigger, but it's completely doable. And then what ends up happening is the Apex turns the power on from right to left to right to left, and then when it does that and the Tunze gets power, then the Tunze handles the pulsation, which is great. And the reason I like the Apex controlling the power on them is because then you only got one thing to hit on your phone, and instantly you're in the feed cycle and everything is down that you want to work with. It also makes it nice at night if you just want to have Monday, Wednesday, Fridays, it running on the right side of the tank, kind of stimulating the wave coming from that side, and then Tuesdays, Thursdays, and like Sundays, I'll make that up, going from the other side of the tank. So I do like to keep things somewhat rhythmic, but different, not the same every day. I found that to be, better for the livestock that's in the tank. One thing I also like about these controllers is they lay out really nice. They've got a nice plug-in, plenty of cord, goes into the unit, and then from the wireless it goes up into the Tunze. The wireless system I'm probably not going to use much, to be quite honest, folks. But this is the new style that's out. This is what you get. So if you go to Bulk Reef or you go to Amazon and you go to buy this, it won't look like what you had because the old ones are being phased out. But you can see here, update on the tank, that it's doing really, really well. And I am going to put this one in with the guard on the front of it. My bride is going to help me, Molly here. She's going to kind of do the back work on the back of the tank. There's that very powerful magnet, as you know, on the back of the tank from the other ones. This one's got a little smaller magnet, but it's still pretty darn powerful. You wouldn't want to get your fingers in it, let's put it that way. So I'm going to get my kind of cable set, and then I'm going to take off the old one first and then try to line up the new one. That might take us a bit to get the new one in place, just because I kind of wanted to point the same direction and get the same wave action. Back in, I think it was 2011 or 2013, when I first set this tank up, you know, I used a very light dye to tell where my motion was, where I could take a drip of it, put it right in front of the pump, and then watch it disperse through the tank to kind of figure out my flow. To be honest, folks, I'm not doing that today. There's no reason to. I am in good shape. I kind of got the direction they know they go. That leaves the sand and stuff all alone. So I'm just going to go with it. So right now we're going to kind of get things ready. I've taken off the side panel from the back. I've got access to the magnet for her. So now she's just going to hang on to that. I'm going to see if I can get this old one off without taking too much coralline algae with it. Boom, done. And then she'll get rid of that big beast. Been fantastic unit. What can I say? We've had a lot of different things in this tank, and some things have died. These lights have been fantastic by Kessel, and they were not what we started with, but they have been since we've had them. I can't say enough about the Apex. That's been fantastic as a controller. It's saved our butt so damn many times. I can't tell you any different on that. And then these pumps. Probably the only better pumps in this house are the Iwakis, which are downstairs, pumping the 20-some, I don't want to say 28 or 29 feet to this tank. Vertically, I think they're pumping 14 or 15 feet, but it's just incredible that we've been blessed with such good equipment for our livestock, because you depend on this stuff, folks, to keep it alive. I mean, that sail fin, I mean, if you go back, oh my gosh, I don't know how far you got to go back. You can go back over 10 years and you'll see him in my tank. I'm all about stability. I love it. So right now my bride is just trying to get the magnet in place here. It's a little tricky because she's trying to film and put it in place at the same time, and you know, we're getting it. We're getting it in place. So here I come. I'm going to try to get this. I really want to try to get this back where there's no coralline algae, right where it was. Just some of the peach fuzz off it, and hopefully it'll stay kind of right where I want it right off the bat, and then I can just adjust the head on it and we can go from there. So it's a blessing to have equipment work this long. I don't mind at this point replacing one of these. I feel I got my value out of it. I think I bought it back in the day for probably $200, and sure, I paid another $100 for it. Welcome to United States and the fun of inflation. So there it is. Now it's back in the tank. Now I've just got to get it adjusted. I got to get it plugged in. It's got these nice little snap connectors with I think a 4 little pin here. You got to line up the little connector and put it into the bottom. I was smart and set my controller up outside the tank so I could kind of feel the pulsation modes and kind of get used to it. The directions are fine, folks, that come with this, but they're in so many languages, and you got to flip the page each time to get to a different section that's got English. That kind of drives me nuts, but whatever. I was able to figure it out. Basically, I've got it in manual mode. You hit the pulse button, and then you use the plus and the minus keys to set up the pulse strength. You hit the pulse button again, it gets you back into full strength mode, and then you do the plus and minus keys to set that up, and you're in good shape. It really works well. Timing, I've got it set. I think I'm going to pulse at about maybe 10. It looks like it's running just a little over 10 seconds on the pulse, so I think that's going to work out well too. And I'm going to leave the old one in next to it until it eventually dies, and then we'll change that one out too. But right now it's still running good, so I'm going to get this thing kind of kicked on here, and we're going to see if we can get this going. It looks really sharp. It's small from the top. It's a lot smaller than the other one. But again, gallons per hour, it's really, really similar. So we're going to get this thing kicked on here and see if we can get it flowing and make it all good for the fish, because they've been going here for about a week while we wait for this to come. Boom, she's on. She's moving water, folks. That's awesome. That's exactly what you want. I'll get adjusted just a tiny bit. Make sure it's working here. So right now it's on full mode. It's 1 bar down from its highest mode. Looks like it's doing really good. Nope, now it went to pulse mode. Now it's down to 1/3 of its mode. As you saw, the other one went to pulse mode too. They're both running at the same time right now because I'm getting things set up, but eventually I'm going to go back to one running and then the other running. Perfect. This thing is pulsing away great, folks. This is exactly what I wanted. An easy fix to a dead pump. I miss, you know, the fact that the 6105 died, but I don't miss the fact that it was big. This one is smaller, pushing out similar gallons. This is fantastic. As you can see, the tank looks excellent. It's doing great. The lights are looking good. I've got the cover shut. I'm about ready to walk away from it this afternoon. I appreciate you guys liking and watching. I know I don't put out a lot of tank videos right now because it's doing so great. But there's an update for you, folks.